Christian Lundgaard, a bright, bright talent.
Christian, radio check. Copy loud and clear. Green, green, green.
Well, without question, he made the most of his first season with Arrow McLaren, and who knows really what's in store for 2026 for him. Driver the number 7, Arrow McLaren Chevrolet, Christian Lundgaard joins us after a 2025 season. Before we get into the minutia of this past season, it was really kind of a big decision for you after 3+ seasons at RLL, Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing, to up and come to Arrow McLaren. Going into the season, how curious were you, wondering how this was going to play out?
I would say I kind of knew it was the right decision, kind of immediately, in a sense. But obviously, I feel like you just go into it optimistic, right? Like you just want to go there and do the best that you can. And it was a very long off season. Obviously, we got to do the October test at the Speedway, which was my first introduction, and that was also very chaotic. And my entire off season was chaotic with travel that just never really fell into place, and me be missing things that I shouldn't have missed. And I would kind of say the relationship with Tony didn't start the best way. I wasn't the most popular.
Because you're missing stuff?
Yeah, I mean, there was some travel issues and stuff that I missed a sim day.
Okay.
Due to being in New Orleans when the snowstorm hit.
Yeah.
He wasn't too happy with that. I mean, which makes sense.
So Kanan's wondering, what exactly have we done here?
Yeah. And then I remember a conversation after Barber. We were driving together to the airport, and we were just kind of chatting and joking around, like we would have never expected this at that time, right?
Yeah.
And obviously it all kind of unfolded the right way, and we had a great one.
Yeah, it's a very good season, a great season. I don't know how you describe it. I'll ask you here in a second. But going into, what were the expectations? What did you want to accomplish?
There weren't really any. It was kind of going into the season and just wanting to be competitive,
okay.
Right? And I think all of us are racing to win. We're not there to finish second. We're not there to just get podiums, right? And in hindsight now, yes, I would have liked to have won a race. But at the end of the day, my expectation and my goal for the season was to go in and just be competitive. Every single event, fighting for podiums, fighting for top 5s, being in the hunt, right?
Yep.
And I feel like we kind of achieved that, looking at the consistency and the average throughout the season. Some slipped away, some were potentially better than they should have been. So ultimately, very, very happy.
Oh, you were competitive right out of the gate. Let's talk about St. Pete. Qualified 5th. You led 23 laps. Did that race encourage you?
Yeah, we went into St. Pete basically a week following the first test at Sebring, right? Sebring was a week before that, and I would say we struggled a lot at Sebring, trying to figure out, what I needed from the car, and obviously what Pato and Nolan likes in the car versus what I like. And we went into St. Pete kind of just experimenting, and it went well until we were on the wrong strategy, which I very much didn't like. But again, we left that kind of weekend just thinking, hey, if we can do this every weekend, we are going to be competitive.
So nice foundation at St. Pete, and it got even better at the Thromel Club. Guys qualify as an all McLaren front row for the first time in the team's young history, at least when it comes to this era. You finished 3rd. Pato's there. You feel like you're on a roll at that point?
Yeah, I would say I kind of did my best to try to stop Alex from getting Pato. Didn't quite work out.
How'd that work out?
I mean, it worked out in the moment, but not afterwards, right? But that's what I kind of mean, right? I knew that my fight was lost of winning the race or having a chance. So at that point, I know Pato's 10 seconds up the road, and let's do the best that I can to try to hold this guy up, obviously without hitting him. But make life difficult for him, and obviously it kind of created a great highlight of the season. I think me and Alex had a few this year, but it was a pretty good start to the season. Obviously, moving on from there, we have 2 competitive cars. We had a first and a second in qualifying, and we finished 2nd and 3rd. And moving on from there, I was like, okay, we have a chance this year. But again, it never really changed my mindset from I just wanted to be competitive.
Long Beach, another podium, led 26 laps there.
Yeah, I was on the right strategy that time.
Big difference, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. And Barber, you guys finished 2nd. I mean, it's 3 straight podiums, pretty much out of the gate. You got to feel pretty good about things.
I did. I was also a little surprised. Joining a new team, after having joined IndyCar back in 2022, I did my debut race in 21 at Indy Road Course, and I showed up and I was like, okay, this is easy.
You made it look easy.
Exactly, and it felt that way.
Really?
And
Yeah.
then I did my first season in 22 and I realized this isn't easy. And obviously gained the experience throughout the next couple of years, and I kind of just took that on to this year, and wanted to learn from that and kind of pick my battles, but also understand how the race really unfolds. And I think Long Beach was a great example of that. Was I crashed in qualifying.
Yeah, that didn't go so well.
I kind of hurt the two other cars because that was the first on track between the three of us in the Fast 12. And all three of us was on the lap that was good enough to transfer into the Fast 6. And then I crashed and I didn't get to do that lap time.
Glad Christian's all right, but yeah, bummer for me. I think bummer for Nolan as well. He didn't get his lap in to be able to. I think we all had the pace to be in there.
I broke the tub. The team had to change car overnight, and I went out and drove on Sunday in a car that hasn't driven in a long time. And the only thing I wanted to do was just give something back to the mechanics. So we all started, I guess, 10, 11, 12. So obviously one of us had to go on a different strategy, and we did, which felt great, obviously, at the end of the day. But I also kind of felt sorry for the others, in a sense, because I kind of ruined their weekends. Obviously, it all is determined after warm-up what strategy you want to go on. We were just kind of the lucky one that got on the right one, even though that we were the one that made the mistake on Saturday.
How would you describe your month of May?
Long.
GP was not great.
No. That was, I think, the definition of not managing expectations. Because obviously, as I just said, my 2021 debut race was I just showed up and drove and didn't think much of it, and I left and I was like, well, this is easy.
This track's been good to you, no problem.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it has after my debut, right? And obviously we've had some good results. I think we've had 2 podiums and a pole. We never had a win, unfortunately. But obviously now I knew how the season had gone, and it was like, oh, okay, we're just gonna go kick everybody's ass. That was not the case. Not the case. And I learned a lot from that, because for me it was more, I showed up with the expectation of I'm just gonna go win this thing, right? Because of the momentum we've had up until that part of the season, and that was not the case. The car was very difficult to drive, and made a lot of mistakes that weekend. Kind of took a few days off after the race, even though that we were going into the proper part of the month of May, and I just wanted to sit back and kind of cry in a sense, because I knew that wasn't on the team. That was just me going off the rails.
You got a little cocky.
Yeah.
100%. Seventh,
I ruined it.
7th, you bounced back 7th to 500. You take that?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really feel like I did anything. I just drove around for 200 laps.
Got a top 10. There you go.
It was so funny driving behind Christian, because every corner it's a lottery. You never know if he's in the wall or not. Which is always, I mean, it's scary in a sense, because you're driving around there and you see this car driving in places it shouldn't drive. And obviously we've seen many examples of that before and after.
He's all or nothing, right?
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, I grew up with him, and he's raced my bigger brother, and I've seen them race and how he raced then. And you know, you got to respect the way he drives in a sense, but you also kind of have to be careful, right? And I chose, okay, I know that I'm not in the fight to win this race right now, so I'm just going to kind of lay back and see what he does. Maybe there's a lucky yellow at some point. Maybe he's the one coursing it at someone else. But it was very
smart move. I mean, you know.
Hey, you got to finish the race.
You do have to. Somebody once said that back in the day. I think it was Rick Mears. To finish first you must finish. Yes. Just throwing that out there. Let's jump ahead to Mid-Ohio, and that to me is kind of where you reignite the momentum for the rest.
That was a great weekend.
For the rest of the season. You qualify second, you finish third. Great weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an overall excellent, kind of simple weekend for us, right? I think we were competitive from the get-go. We were fast in practice, we were fast in qualifying, we were fast in the race. I think we were the only car in the entire field that was trimmed. We were fighting the 10 car, right? We were first and second pretty much the entire race. We knew the 9 car was kind of in the mix, just of how the strategy played out and when the yellows kind of fell. That 9 car, if there ever is a yellow in a race, he's always on the right side of it. And I would say it pisses off a lot of people, because he's always the one that seems to hit it right.
It's amazing what they say he makes fuel, but it's
he must drink fuel for breakfast or something.
well, then before that, after a 14th at St. Louis, 24th at Road America, that Mid-Ohio was big, right? Was that the turning point, you think, in your season?
Yeah, I mean, I would say St. Louis was a better weekend than what the result says, and so was Road America, right? Road America, we were basically on the strategy to win the race until I spun. I screwed up. I mean, I put myself in a position that wasn't necessary at the time, which hurt, right? It hurt after the weekend. St. Louis, I messed up in pit lane, basically missed my box, and that was that weekend. But at the end of the day, that entire weekend was kind of the turning point for me in ovals this year.
The 6th at Milwaukee, to your point, on
that was
ovals,
the first time in my entire life I actually had a blast on an oval.
There you go.
And I think that, the result
what is it
about
that clicked?
I think it's a good question, and it's a question I don't have the answer to, which pisses me off in a sense.
Because you don't know.
Exactly. But I was driving around out there, even in qualifying, I definitely knew I left something on the table in qualifying. And then in the race, I was like, I told Chris, my engineer, I'm going to be 10th by the first pit stop. I was 11th. But then after every single pit stop, we just kept moving forward. I had one bad restart that I lost 6 positions from, basically 4th down to 10th again, and we drove our way back to 6th. So I feel like I left that weekend much happier. And then obviously that kind of helped a little bit for Nashville as well.
Do you feel more of a complete IndyCar driver now that you've got a little taste of success on an oval?
For sure. And I mean, in that sense, it gives you a great confidence boost. But I think a lot of it is how you mentally prepare yourself. And I think that was one of the things for Milwaukee as well. I sat at home, drove around my simulator on Milwaukee and Nashville. I mean, I did 3 days straight where I was just doing like full race distances against AI drivers. I mean, they couldn't drive to save their lives, but I mean, I won all of them because I just kind of zigzagged through them.
Right.
But it was more going in with that mentality that I'm gonna show up this weekend and I'm gonna do good.
But do you feel good going into what this offseason is, and now the preseason is going to be here before we know it?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think from a mental and a physical standpoint, there is definitely things I want to do preparing for 2026. And
is it different than what you did last year, preparing for a season?
Very. I mean, last year, I mean, that's probably one thing people don't necessarily know about me, but I think a lot of people are the same way. I can't plan to save my life. So, I mean, I'm kind of a 12-hour in advance kind of guy. I mean, I can't do a week in advance.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing in 3 days. I mean, I do know what I'm doing in 3 days.
Right.
But after that, I don't really know.
So 12 hours from now, you know what you're doing. 3 days from now,
no idea. Well, I mean, this week is a little different.
Okay, right. Okay.
I mean, it's kind of like when I'm in season, obviously I know when the races are, but within between races, I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Goals for next year, real quickly?
Yeah, I mean, a win would definitely be nice, I think. One of the things I'm looking more towards is oval performances. If you look at the averages and the stats from the season, I think we're the second best on road courses. We didn't have a necessarily very good street course year, but the ovals is where we need to kind of average that out, and I think that's where Alex took the biggest step this year, right? I mean, he'd never won on an oval until he won the 500, and
all of a sudden he's ripping off others. Yeah, it's crazy. Last thing about Alex is this a really good season, but everybody still has to raise their game in order to meet what he's doing on the track.
The way their season kind of fell together, and I think if you look back at what he said at the banquet at the end of the season, it all kind of came to him, right? He just, doing what he normally does.
He didn't force the issue at all.
Exactly, and his season this year was just one of those where everything fell into place for them, for that 10 car. It's very frustrating to be on the other side of it, because obviously you wish that it's yourself, but at the end of the day, it's almost too good to be true, right? It's just like, a couple of years ago in Formula One, you didn't even really want to watch the races because you knew who was going to win.
You knew Verstappen was going to get there,
exactly,
right? Yep.
And I feel like IndyCar has always been on the other side of that. And this year just felt completely opposite, where it's like, oh yeah, Alex is gonna win again. And then like all the races where I felt like I kicked butt, he was still 5-10 seconds up the road, and I was like, okay, what am I gonna do to beat this guy, right? And I think everybody is kind of seeing and saying the same thing, is how do we beat this guy? But yeah, I definitely feel like me and the rest of the drivers on the grid should have put some money in that pot for his vacation after the 500.
Good luck with that.
Yeah,
Good luck with that.
All inclusive.
It's been a heck of a season. I can't wait to see you take the next step
Me too.
here in 2026, beginning with the ovals. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Christian Lundgaard, the countdown to 26 is definitely on.